السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين بارئ الخلائق أجمعين، والصلاة والسلام على خاتم الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا ونبينا ومولانا أبي القاسم محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا. اللهم صل على محمد. أما بعد فأوصيكم ونفسي بتقوى الله، فإنه حبل متين وعروة وثقى. صلوات. Dear brothers and sisters in Iman, first of all I advise myself for taqwa, parhizgari and piety, and then I advise all of you for the same. We are in the middle of this blessed month of Sha'ban, month which is related specially to the Messenger of Allah, the month of Nabi and Rasul of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. And a month to prepare ourselves, inshallah, for the month of Ramadan. So, as a reminder to everyone that start making your schedules from now on in such a way that inshallah during the month of Ramadan you can take the benefit of the blessings of month of Ramadan and the programs of month of Ramadan, and also try to make some kind of adjustments in your family schedules, your work schedules, your travel schedules. All these things need planning. Sometimes people don't plan ahead of time. They don't know that where we are exactly, and then all of a sudden month of Ramadan or Muharram is upon us, and then people struggle for scheduling and for adjustment in their schedules. So a believer is always ahead of time. That is one of the signs of a believer, that he is always ahead than others, gets up in the morning before than anybody else, and has time for himself and time for his God, for his family, for his fellow believers, for his extended family. So that makes us actually that ideal believer. A mu'min is someone that who has multi-dimensional personality. A multi-dimensional personality helps a believer to maintain the balance in all those areas of life. We have life over here and we have a life hereafter. So we have to again work for both. We cannot just only work for this life and then abandon the next one. We will be losers. At the same time, we are not supposed to only worry about the life hereafter and abandon this life. We are again going to be the losers, and the most chances are that if you don't have dunya, you won't have akhirat as well. So you have to have both, a balance between dunya and akhirah in these two lives. It takes more time than only working for one life. Then also, as we are very much, there is a balance which we need to maintain between our individual, ourself, and within our family. So we cannot say that I will sacrifice myself and my duties and my responsibilities for the sake of my family, because I have to answer for myself, and my family is not going to answer for me, and they are not going to go in my grave with me, and they are not going to defend me. So I have my own duties, I have my own responsibilities which I have to do. At the same time, I have the duties and responsibilities toward my family. So I cannot say that since I was taking care of myself, so I was not able to take care of my family. That is not an excuse accepted by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we have responsibilities toward ourselves, and then we have responsibilities toward our family. And we have to again maintain that ideal balance, that we are doing all what we are supposed to do and taking the full advantage of this life, the blessings of life, the bounties of life, and all what is there for us as individual, at the same time making sure that our family is also provided with all those bounties and blessings and opportunities and environment and assistance and help, that they can also take the benefit. But we cannot prefer one over the other. Then also, it's not only that much that we have to take care of ourselves and only immediate family. We all know that it is an obligation to take care of our extended family, those who are known ulul arham, and we are reminded over and over about silatul rahim. Silatul rahim is from wajibat, and from one of those wajibat that particularly it is mentioned that at the day of judgment it will be asked. And there are riwayat, plenty of riwayat, and even there are ayat in Quran that silatul rahim is something that we will be asked for, and we have to show, to prove to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that we have been mindful of our extended family, our responsibility toward our grandparents, which is from the wajibat as like our own parents, but then those uncles and aunts and those cousins and those kind of relatives, I mean that is ulul arham. So we have to keep again those people in mind that who are part of our extended family, and yes, the level of responsibility is different. There are different levels of responsibility, but there is a responsibility toward all that extended family, and at the minimum is to stay in touch with them. That is the minimum duty and responsibility, that you stay in touch with all of them once a while, visit them if you can visit them, or at least you can call them, you can write them. We were used to write letters, not anymore, but maybe the email, maybe the text message, maybe just message, just wanted to know how you folks are doing. Month of Ramadan is coming, we wish you the blessed month of Ramadan, for example. The Eid is approaching, and we wish that we could celebrate this Eid together, but we wish you a happy Eid, for example. So something happened in their area, there was flood, there was earthquake, there was any natural disaster or something happened, calling them, just wanted to know, are you folks are okay, everything is fine with you, meaning just I was kind of wondering about you, I was kind of concerned about your safety. So these are the minimums. And then if we are in that area, by chance we went in their city, we were traveling, we went in that country where they live, we were passing by, then it is a responsibility that either go and visit them if you have time, and if you don't have time, at least give them a call that we were in your area, we thought of you, we wish that we could come and visit you, but we were not able to, we don't have that much time, but at least we thought we can talk over the phone and we should ask that how you folks are doing. So these are the some ways of doing this Silatul Rahim, alaykum salam, and remaining in touch with all those. You don't know that your one telephone call can make their day. And literally it happens that there are some relatives of ours and there are some members of extended family or some community members or some friends that just one telephone call of these similar messages can make their day, can uplift them, that somebody cares about them, somebody thought of them, somebody thought about them. So these are very important things, my brothers and sisters. Sometime when we are engaged in bigger duties and bigger responsibilities, we have tendency of forgetting the minor ones. We think that since we are doing the big good deeds, the small ones are for small people or from the average people, we don't have to worry about. While that is not the case. We don't know whether Allah is going to accept this small one and whether He is going to accept that big one. And that big one sometimes makes us proud. So, that has its own side effects. But these small ones are sometimes even more important. And Amirul Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salatu wassalam has a beautiful advice in Nahjul Balagha. It is part of that letter which he wrote to, which he wrote for his son Imam Hassan al-Mujtaba alayhi salatu wassalam, where he says that if you have done some big favors to your brothers, it should not prevent you from giving him the small favors. So small favors have their own place and those big favors have their own place. So if you have done something big for one of your relatives or friends or family, now don't think that you don't have to render or give those small favors. The small favors have their own place and those big favors and the big things are at their own. So these are the reminders, beautiful reminders coming from Quran and Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salatu wassalam to help us to maintain that balance. Maintaining this balance has been always the major issue and the major concern of human being from the day one. Otherwise, naturally, human beings are created on good nature. Naturally, they want to be good. Naturally, they want to do good and they want to be good. But then in the hustle and bustle of the life, what happens? That they lose the balance. They lose the balance and then they get all kind of drawn into one side. Either they become too much individualistic and forget their social and their societal and their family responsibilities, or they go too much into the social things and societal things that they start forgetting about their own self. Similarly, balance between family and the community. Family is very important, but it doesn't mean that I should reach out to my family or focus on my family by cutting off myself from the community. And community is very important, but again not at the cost of my family. So these are the things that my brothers and sisters, all of us, we should keep in mind. Month of Ramadan is fast approaching, and this is the time that now we should, as I started the first khutbah with, that start making our plans, our programs, whatever we want to set some goals during the month of Ramadan. How many nawafil inshallah I will be praying, how many, for example, the iftars I will be inviting people, or I'm volunteering myself at masjid or center or anywhere to any charity, how much financially I am going to do the charity in this month of Ramadan where rewards are very high. Whatever you give, you never get that much reward in other months as compared to what you give as a charity in the month of Ramadan. So it has special bounties. How much Quran I am going to recite, which du'as I am going to recite. So bring those books out from your shelves and kind of clean the books from the dust and make your plans. Try to sit down as a family and make a family plan. Discuss with your spouse, with your children, have a meeting, alaikum salam wa rahmatullah, and the family all together should make a family plan that in this month of Ramadan, this is what we will be doing, this kind of environment we will be creating at our home, this is how we will be, inshallah. These are the few nights when we may invite some people to do iftar at our home, or this is the time when we will be inviting some people at BaitulIlm or wherever you go in any center. This is what we will be doing. This dua we will be reciting on daily basis and sahar or at iftar time. This time we will try to sit down all together and recite some Quran or these kind of things. This itself, this meeting itself is a thawab, it's a good deed. You will earn so much thawab by just sitting and planning and doing this meeting. Recite a salawat. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن أحسن الحديث وأبلغ الموعظة كتاب الله أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله الذي لا إله إلا هو الحليم الكريم غافر الذنب وقابل التوب وهو الغفور الرحيم إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. صل على محمد وعلى محمد. اللهم صل وسلم على سيدنا ونبينا ومولانا أبي القاسم محمد صل على وعلى أمير المؤمنين وإمام المتقين علي بن أبي طالب وعلى سيدة نساء العالمين فاطمة الزهراء اللهم صل على محمد وعلى الحسن والحسين سيدي شباب أهل الجنة وعلى علي بن الحسين ومحمد بن علي وجعفر بن محمد وموسى بن جعفر وعلي بن موسى ومحمد بن علي وعلي بن محمد والحسن بن علي. اللهم صل على مولانا صاحب العصر والزمان اللهم صل على وعلى آبائه الكرام متصل الليالي والأيام صلوات. Again, in this second khutbah of Jumu'ah, I will like to advise myself for taqwa, parhizgari and piety, and then I advise all of you for the same. In this second khutbah, very briefly, 2 or 3 points regarding the month of Ramadan, which is fast approaching. Normally, people don't pay attention to the messages and the emails which are sent to them, or they don't look at the websites of the centers, and the easy thing is to just call. And you know the age of calls is already now gone. Nobody attends telephone anymore. So the best thing is to remain in loop ahead of time and keep watching and reading those messages coming from the centers, the communications coming, the emails, and then checking the website at that night instead of calling. So there is a big question that which people ask: tomorrow should we fast for the month of Ramadan or as the last day of Sha'ban, when there is no news of the confirmation that moon has been sighted? If there is no confirmation that moon has been sighted, you cannot fast as the month of Ramadan. So you fast, it's always advised that go ahead and fast, but with the niyat of the last day of Sha'ban. Then if later it is cited or the news came and it got confirmed that actually the moon was sighted and that was the month of Ramadan had started, automatically, even without your niyat, that fast will be counted as the fast of first of Ramadan. So you don't have to worry about that. But don't wait until the midnight that whether I should fast. Baba, kya ho gaya? Ek din agar zyada roza rakh liya tha. So what is wrong by fasting on that one day as the 30th of Sha'ban? It is highly recommended. You are welcoming the month of Ramadan by fasting one day ahead of time. You are hitting the ground by running. So the first thing is that you should fast on that night, but if there is no confirmation of month of Ramadan, fast as the last day of Sha'ban. Then by the morning you will find out. Sometime we were used to find out next day by noon, but in these days we get the information by the late night sometime. Sometime we get the news early, sometime we get news little later. So no kind of panic on that night for just calling and making sure that whether Ramadan has started or not. Just go ahead and fast as the last day of Sha'ban, and later on either if month of Ramadan was confirmed, it will be automatically counted as the first of Ramadan. Otherwise it will be your mustahab fast for the month of Sha'ban. Recite salawat. The other important thing is that if someone had missed some fasts last year and you have qada on your responsibility that you had to make up your those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fasts, whatever you had missed because you were traveling or you were sick or whatever, time is now. In the month of Sha'ban is your last chance before month of Ramadan starts. Now you count how many fasts were on your duty, and now you go ahead and in these days try to fast those qada fasts of month of last Ramadan. Don't wait for this Ramadan to come. You had to start, meaning doing even way earlier, but if you didn't fast earlier, so this month is, before month of Ramadan is your last chance. So please go ahead and fast for those fasts if these are at your responsibility. Number 3, when it comes to the niyat of fasting, ulama say that for during the month of Ramadan, because you cannot make any other fast other than the fast of Ramadan. So if you have the niyat that you are fasting, then you are fasting for the month of Ramadan. There is not any particular line which you have to read or to say to make the niyat. Just if you have this in your mind, in your heart, that tomorrow you are fasting for the month of Ramadan as your obligation. You are fasting tomorrow because of month of Ramadan. This is niyat, and this is good enough. You don't have to say it verbally, any particular text or any particular line, just as long as you have the niyat of fasting tomorrow as one of your obligation of this month. But they say that it is good that at the first night or first day of Ramadan, make a niyat for entire month of Ramadan. That inshallah I will be fasting, this is my obligation, I will be fasting inshallah for the entire month of Ramadan. And then if you want to renew it every night before Sahar, you can do that. So that is fine. But if in general you have that intention, that suffices. You don't have to say any verbal thing for that. Recite another salawat. أما بعد فقد قال الله تبارك وتعالى في كتابه المجيد وفرقانه الحميد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم توبوا إلى الله توبة نصوحا عسى ربكم أن يكفر عن سيئاتكم ويدخلكم جنات تجري من تحتها الأنهار وقال الله تبارك وتعالى إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون